Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Redlands. My name is Joe. I'll be leading you on this guided meditation this morning. So let me invite you to just close your outer eyes as we take a nice deep inhalation through our nose. And hold it for a few seconds. And exhale out our mouth as we feel all tension in the body release and relax from the head down to the back, to the legs, to the feet. Just feel all this tension release, being pulled from your body with every inhalation and every exhalation. Feel your stomach, your abdomen contract with each inhalation, like a balloon. With every exhalation, it contracts, releasing all that is unneeded, like air deflating from a balloon, expending all that negative energy. As we breathe in all that is needed, feel our lungs expand. Let us just take this moment to breathe and center ourselves in this oneness. With this universal mind. The spirit that is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, all around and within. As you breathe, do not resist any distractions, noises that may disrupt. Just allow it to be, and return your focus to your breathing. Let us be still and know our wholeness and our oneness as we breathe. Allowing our breath to grow deeper and deeper, journeying into this centeredness and this knowing. Feel the vibration of the bell, of the rain stick, these cooling, calming sounds, vibrations. Pulling us into this consciousness. Growing deeper. Deeper. Stay focused on your breathing. Deeper. Now, visualize yourself standing on the sand at the ocean. You're barefoot. It is night. You look out at the ocean, at the water, and the vast expanses. It is a glowing white, glowing bright white light. And a spirit. Flowing and moving, ebbing and flowing. You walk towards it. Closer, closer. Your feet make contact with this glowing white, ebbing, flowing tide of spirit. It is the same temperature as your body. You comfortably move forward into it. Till you're knee-high in it, then waist-high, moving out, submerging into it, merge into it completely. Comfortably, peacefully, you are at ease. You see your body, your physical body, start breaking down into glowing white particles, dissolving into this body of spirit. It exists in every point in space and time, always. You are merged in one with it now, moving, flowing, in this infinite light. It is calm, peaceful, restorative, and this oneness it is all good, all good. Serenity, you move across this vast expanse. It is limitless. You experience this limitless, this knowingness. Lifting up into the heavens, moving, moving, across the universe. This consciousness expands. Into the infinite. Co-creating. With the divine source. This universal mind. towards this ocean of bright light, spirit, journeying back to this terrestrial plane. To this present moment. We see ourselves reassembling back into form, into human form. From the subatomic level to the physical form. Incarnation and individuation of spirit. Returning to this sacred space. I invite you to wiggle your toes, your fingers, feel your body as I invite you, that you're ready to open your eyes. And this concludes our meditation. Thank you.
Person next to you, say God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the love in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God, this day I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. Hey, 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 yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am giving a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul and your soul are welcome here.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center of Spiritual Living of Redlands. My name is Ed Torres, your board president. Our center is a spiritual home, is an open, inclusive community honoring all people from every backgrounds, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are in your journey of faith, you're always welcome here. Our purpose is to awaken humanity in its spiritual magnificence. And our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you are here for the very first time, please raise your hand so we may welcome you. Welcome. A gentle reminder to silence your cell phones. I know someone's going to be calling. That's very important. Place them safely away so you may participate in our service today fully. We're so happy to have you with us for our service today, and we are grateful for your presence. And those of you on Facebook and YouTube, we welcome you as well. And now our centering music. Oh, hold on just a minute. I think I have to do also the announcements. Excuse me, I went a little too fast there. Okay. All right. A lot is going on. Today after service at 12 o'clock, CSL Redlands members meeting. We ask you to stay present if you're a member, and if you're a friend, you're invited to attend as well. Wake Up and Meditate, a daily spiritual practice, Mondays through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45 via Zoom. The meeting ID is located on your little pass out and also on our website. And the power of meditate. We are coming close to the end of our Women's Safe Shelter, and we are asking everyone to help us in this final stretch to donate a meal. We're looking for about 3 to 4 meals for the week for the next 8 weeks. So if you'd like to volunteer, please sign up. It's on our website. It's also on the back of your pamphlet here, but we would really encourage you to help us with these ladies on the final steps. They'll be moving into the next temporary housing. Our 1-minute miracle. Our practitioners are available after service for prayer and for your greatest and highest good. Also, Amazon. For the holidays, don't forget to shop on Amazon Smile. You can put Redlands Center for Spiritual Living, and a portion of those purchases will go to our center here. And today at 4 p.m., the Redlands Area Interfaith Council, they have their annual Thanksgiving celebration. And the message this year is, Let All Nature Sing. And the Conservancy will be the speaker. Beautiful gentleman who combines spirituality, faith, and nature. It's a very good message. It's going to be at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 350 Wabash Avenue. And our spiritual director was going to be a part of that, but she's ill. But we welcome everyone to come and join. It's about an hour to an hour and a half, and there's dessert and refreshments afterward. And this is where all the different faiths of our Redlands community get together. And it's a really beautiful experience and event. And coming soon, mark your calendars, Saturday, November 19th from 3 to 5 p.m., the Clapping Monkeys. Chants, mantras, and music of mind, body, and spirit. You are all so magnificent, you are loved, and you are appreciated right where you are, and God is good. And let me see if I've missed anything else. And now, let's see, our centering music, There's Only Love, performed by our super talented Al Yankee.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I close my eyes to see. Sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself and it seems I've lost my I go inside and quiet my mind and hear Spirit gently say, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets me
And so what a rich and powerful intention to rest into as I speak this word. The knowing that at the end of the day, there's only love. That anything and everything that is this human experience comes down to illusion or our perception of what we think is. But when we scratch the surface of all that shows up on the realm of circumstances and conditions and beliefs and fears and disappointments, scratch the surface and the light of love is ever present and radiating and reminding us that love is all there is. And so as I rest into the very Lord God of my being, that steadfast place of knowing that continues to guide and direct me if I have moments of spiritual amnesia and I forget that love is all that there ever really is. I call forth that place of illumination that remembers and reminds me. And as I call that forth on my behalf now, I know that in the unequivocal oneness that brings us together in that inseparable heart cord that connects us infinitely, that each of us is catching that vibration of remembering the alchemizing power of love, to intercept and to break up any seeming discordance until we remember that truth that is ever present. And so as I speak this word today and I call forth the intention for today, that of roots and wings, I call forth that source of love that each of us knows that is the human experience, regardless of what the configuration of love has been and what our family of origin may or may not have looked like. I call forth the place within us that knows on such a deep soul level the truth that is real love. And I call forth that into the presence of the room today. I call it forth into consciousness on behalf of all of those that we hold in that light of love. And I know that simultaneous to whatever that configuration has looked like, the village that has indeed raised us in the recognition and honoring of love, that the wings are the angels that have been back of who we believe ourselves to be today, and the angels that are making any seeming crookedness straight, that are going before us. Those are our wings. So as we navigate this very earthly human experience that is sometimes steeped in what feels like uncertainty, that we remember that as we walk this life on the physical realm, that those wings that guide us, that place that avails us to receive divine love, is present nonetheless. We are elevated as we walk. And so I call forth for those of us who are blessed enough to have family on the earthly realm that also was able to serve as the wind beneath our wings. I call forth that breath of spirit now, because some earthly angels operate on such a vibration of pure love that they earn their wings in this incarnation. So I call that forth now. And from such an outpouring of gratitude that I feel steeping me, though my physical body feels wobbly, rooting me right here and right now to avail myself to speak the word as I take dictation from the realm of the Most High. And as I have those moments of seeming uncertainty that we all do, may those earthly angels show up and be the demonstration that reminds us of who we truly are. So from this consciousness of outpouring gratitude, recognizing that love known on this deep and unwavering a level cannot help but be made manifest as our lives, I recognize this, I celebrate it, and together we stand back and marvel at the power and potency of love. And celebrating that omnipotent power, I rest in thee, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Okay, this reading is by Jeff Foster. Abundance is not the money you have in your bank account, the trophies on your shelf, the letters after your name, the list of goals reached, the number of people you know, your perfect healthy body, or your adoring fans. Abundance is your connection consciously to each breath, how sensitive you are to every flicker of sensation and emotion in the body. It is the delight with which you savor each unique moment, the joy with which you greet each new day. It is knowing yourself as presence, the power that creates and moves the world. It is your open heart, how deeply moved you are by love each and every day, your willingness to embrace, to hold what needs to be held to your heart. It is the freshness of each morning, unencumbered by memory or false hope. Abundance is the feeling of the afternoon breeze on your cheeks, the sun warming your face. It is meeting others in the field of honesty and vulnerability, where you connect beyond the story, sharing what is alive. It is your rootedness in the present moment, knowing that you are always home, no matter what happens, no matter what is gained or appears to be lost. It is touching life at the point of very creation, never looking back, feeling the belly rise and fall, thanking each breath, giving praise to each breath. It is falling to your knees in awe, laughing at the stories that are told about you, sinking more deeply into rest. Abundance is simplicity. It's kindness. It is you, before every sunrise, fresh, open, and awake. You are rich, friend. You are rich. So it is.
How interesting that we need to be reminded how rich we are. To pay attention to what is right in front of our face all the time. Isn't that fascinating? This is a song about what it feels like on that search to find what's right there all the time. I was born with a craving and an ache in my soul, down deep inside. There's a call to go. All I really know is that the heart can't be denied. So if I choose the road not taken, I'll need a star to guide my way, to find the strength to keep my heart wide open, to walk in peace with every step I take. While I stand here uncertain, there's a shift in the wind, a change in the sky, as the gathering clouds form a darkening shroud. So it is within my mind. So if I choose the road not taken, I'll need a star to guide my way, to give me strength to keep my heart wide open, to walk in peace with every step I take. There's a call to go. All I really know is that the heart can't be denied. So if I choose a road not taken, I'll need a star to guide my way, to find the strength to keep my heart wide open, to walk in peace with every step I take, to walk in peace with every step I take.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Yankee. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at CSL Redlands, and it's an honor always to be with you to deliver a Sunday message. I've asked Reverend Caitlin to be with me today, and we're going to go back and forth on a topic that I think you're going to really enjoy, and we shall see. There is a journalist and author named Hodding Carter, and the book might have been When Main Street Meets the River. And there was a beautiful quote from it about roots and wings. And it goes like this: there are only two lasting bequests that we can hope to give our children: roots and wings. And they can be grown, these roots and wings, only in the home. So today's talk title and the material that goes with it was a little bit about home, a little bit about Brene Brown quotes and from her books about boundaries. And well, I want to bring in that, yeah. So can we put Reverend Caitlin's mic on? Okay, it's on.
It's on.
So
yeah.
the thing is, I want to talk to you. When I went into, I'm maybe too literal a person. So I went into the word roots and I went into the word wings, and I want to alter a little bit about the material for today, if that's okay with you. So what came through for me really powerfully with the idea of roots, have you ever seen the roots of a tree or a plant? Some of them aren't they quite amazing? They're a network. You know, if you've ever done any kind of horticulture or gardening, you can really, it feels like you're hurting it when you're transplanting it. And there's actually something you can put on roots to help them not be in as much of a shock. And I thought that was interesting. I learned that when I was a kid. And if you think about trees and the networks of the roots below, they're intelligent. They know what they need and they can share what they need below. And so to me, the idea of these roots is it's like the universe below for what we can see, right? And it's the same thing here. In the universe, sometimes we can't see, right? Everything that's most needed in that moment. So I want to talk a little bit about the idea of ancestry. I spoke with Reverend Caitlin about that. And we're going to do a reading, and then I'm going to let Reverend Caitlin go on the roots portion, which is the ancestry. And then we're going to go into the wings portion, which to me is super powerful. And Reverend Caitlin's already started speaking from her heart about that, right? The idea that we have these wings that are within us. So if that's okay with you, we're going to start with that. And so let's do you want to do the reading on the family tree? Yeah, here we go.
You're doing trees, go ahead.
Okay. And then you have your mic, right? So ready when you are. The tree, this is called the family tree. And only the quote, the tree epitomizes life itself with its roots, drawing up nourishment from the earth, its trunk soaring skyward, and its branches reaching out toward the heavens. It's also a symbol of family and relationship. The family tree connects us to our past, rooting us in the ground from which we have come, and the flowering branches speak of our future, new possibilities, and weathering changes around us. The trunk is the now, bridging the past into what is to be. Branches link us individuals to the larger system of the planet, the extended human family to which we all belong. And there's a beautiful quote by Martin Luther King Jr. In a real sense, all life is interrelated. We are caught in a network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny.
I love that. Okay, can I stand or should I sit?
Go.
I can whatever. Okay. Hi, thank you, Mark. So, interestingly, on the way over today, I looked, and there was a billboard, for lack of whatever that word is, on the side of the road, and it was talking about that this month, November, is Native American Heritage Month. And I thought, was I supposed to see that? And I believe I was. My lineage is Irish, no kidding, with the name. Lots of that, mostly that. And my mom's side of the family is predominantly French-Canadian, but we have a lot of Indian in our heritage. And so one of the things that that came to me since last night when Mark and I decided we were going to do this was the idea that we inherit and we own in our DNA the beliefs that we've inherited as well, right? And sometimes those beliefs, like I've shared a few times before, the call to serve because it's the right thing to do, that's a belief that is in alignment with who we are, who I am, as the case may be today. Sometimes what happens is that there are situations in life that are catalysts where we get to re-examine our beliefs, like, have I outgrown that one? And sometimes we don't even know whether we've outgrown it until it comes up. And it's kind of like this separation from it, where we get to go, now, is that in alignment with what I really think and who I am today? So, let me see if I can get this out in a way that's clearer as it applies to me and what's going on right now. I come from a family of female martyrs. I do not say that with disrespect. I say that with absolute reverence, because on both sides of my family, the women are really strong, really feisty, and very loving and nurturing. I have a lot of healers on the Indian side, and I'm imagining in the Irish ancestry as well. Yet, I came up against something when I was in my practitioner training, which is now 20 years ago, where I had to re-examine this idea of being truly, authentically selfless in my ability to give. And because I've done service work my whole life, I know the times when I continued to give from depletion, which then becomes somehow inauthentic because it sets us up to feel exhausted and resentful and all kinds of, other things. A lot of times, those of us who perceive ourselves as givers don't like to recognize, I don't have it to give today. It's uncomfortable. And we've got all kinds of thoughts around it, as if we somehow should. So what I'm getting to look at right now is my mom will be transferred to a skilled nursing after a recent stroke. And my mom was in service to my grandmother who had a stroke for 13 years. And there was a point when I was in my practitioner training where I was literally terrified that if my mother didn't stop and check in with her own self-love and nurturing, that she would pass before my grandmother. I was really frightened of that. But because it was coming from what is such a selflessly loving, authentic place, it can get convoluted to the point of self-abandoning. But we can't give what we don't have. So for me, I'm now looking at, what is this going to look like for me? And so much more is currently revealing, so I'm honestly not sure how that will come up for me. But I've always said to my mother, not because she asked me, but because it's what I choose, that I would be there as her caregiver should there ever be a need for that. It's not a consideration today because her medical needs currently are beyond anything I'm capable of. But should there come a point down the line where she's perhaps moved to hospice care, which is a current discussion, my commitment becomes giving to the point that I authentically have to give. And that's almost uncomfortable for me to say. But I myself, in a life of service and getting into different relationship situations and caregiving for people's children, and the list goes on, I have neglected self-care in the process, and sometimes even gotten sick as a result of it. So what I'm getting to look at is that those beliefs that are generational, those beliefs that are ancestral on both sides of my family, the strong women care for those in need. What are the nuances around that as they will apply to me? And I honestly don't know until I'm faced with those decisions. Every fiber of me wants to be there with my mom in service to her for every last breath, and to absolutely be bedside should she transition. But I know, because we've discussed it, that she would not want me, first of all, to attempt to be a caregiver for her if it's going to lessen her ability to be cared for, if I'm incapable, obviously. But she would not want me to self-abandon, to disregard my own life and my own well-being in service to her. So one of the most powerful things that's been coming up for me just since last night is that, along with, the physical traits that we inherit and the characteristics, my feistiness, my temperament, when I'm hell-bent on something, I am hell-bent. And that comes from both sides of the family with the women in my family. But back in my practitioner class, my minister then, Reverend Michael at Agape, said to me, your charge in this incarnation is to interrupt and re-examine and recognize the generational DNA around service and the authenticity of it. And I'm starting to see it's been 3 weeks, in walking this walk, how it isn't cut and dry, none of it. How, where grief and potential loss and are concerned, there's no right or wrong way to do it. And not only am I needing to muster up more compassion for family members who, if I was to be self-righteous, aren't doing it the right way, if I can't find compassion for them and in their own seeming frailties, how in the world can I for myself? I've never walked this path, so I don't know what I don't know. But what's so amazing is that no matter what's showing up in the realm of diagnosis or prognosis currently with my mom, when I'm in prayer with her, bedside, she recognizes and embraces all that's coming through, everything. I can feel it. And she'll acknowledge with a squeeze, or she'll pet my head, or letting me know that she's there and that she will ultimately support me in loving and honoring myself in my commitment to loving and honoring and nurturing her. So lastly, one of the things that came up today, when I was praying, and I almost never recall a word that comes out of my mouth, ask me after what did you say in that prayer? Psst, no clue. But what I felt evolving in consciousness was just this presence of such grace and such unwavering compassion that I'm my mother's daughter. You know, I'm my mother's daughter. Yes. And of course, I will give her all that I'm capable of. Of course, it is my commitment to be there through it all, as she has been for me. And some of you know that in these last few years, I've had what I now know has been such a privilege to live with her. I hadn't lived with her in, 40 years, something like that. And we reached a point, two spiritual women, ever evolving, teaching one another back and forth, where there was no line anymore of demarcation between mother and daughter, two spirits on an ever-evolving path. And I saw her growth, and I know that she's at peace, whatever may come, because her faith is that solid. So those are my thoughts. I turn the mic over.
Stand by.
Stand by.
So this is a beautiful sharing, is it not? And I think it speaks, I wanted to have it here today because of the idea of roots and wings. And many people who are watching remotely, many people that we know that call the prayer ministry, go through, this is life, right? Part of life is this idea of the generational shifts. So in our teaching, one thing that we always want to share from here are practical tools, right, for daily living. And so my input to the idea of roots is this idea that if there are generational or ancestral, I think when we conjure and we bring our ancestors into our prayers, I always want you to call forth for the highest and best good. Just say with me, for my highest and my best, good. Because some of them have multiple powers. And when we're dealing in the idea of spirit and the idea of prayer, I want to make sure that everybody who's listening within the sound of my voice always calls forth for your highest and best good, for your soul's evolution at this very moment in time. It's very, very important, because when you don't want to turn over any power, right? And at the same time, one of the tools in the tool belt that came through really strong for me in the idea of the discussion of roots or ancestors is we may not have ever tapped in yet, doesn't matter how old we are, to the true power that's available to us within our ancestors and within our lineage, as long as it's for our highest and best good right here and right now. I know I'm oversimplifying, and another time I could tell you some of the story of, my background, but I come from an Armenian heritage on both sides, with arranged marriages from my parents' parents, and where the little boys, in order to survive the genocide by the Turks in 1917 and 18, had to dress as little girls or they were already killed, just to survive. And the first thing they did was extinguish and kill all the artists, musicians, the poets, the great writers, because that's what happens in give me the word.
Fascism?
No. Genocide. So we try to be always uplifting and positive every Sunday, right? When we give a service and a message, every time we get the mic. When I was speaking with Reverend Caitlin, and we didn't know that Reverend Caitlin would even come until the last moment where she came through the doors, right, to attend in person. But I wanted to just acknowledge your strength and your power and share the tender moments. We don't always share the tender moments. Sometimes it looks fake, right? Or if we're always too ready to go to the love and the light and the prayer and the this and the that. But I wanted to share, I think you're a gift to be able to speak through the pain touches many, many hearts. So that was the intention for today. We're not quite done, but we're at least more than halfway done. Okay, so there was a couple quick scriptures that I wanted to share before I go into, and I don't have them perfectly right, and then we'll go to the reading and on wings. Don't leave me. No, I'm very codependent today. So when I was going through the training at Agape as well, there was a script. Do you ever get mad at yourself like you thought you should have chose higher or chose better? There's song lyrics about that, right? If we're disappointed in ourselves, we can become our worst critic. And there was a scripture that when it was spoken that day about all the years that the locusts have eaten will be returned unto you. Yeah. Oh, I got it in that moment. And I was like, what? I could start anew. All the years that the locusts have eaten will be returned to me. And I want you to do a little bit of thought about that. It can be now and it can be later. I want you to take that with you to see what that might mean to you. And then the other thing was, if I could have the faith the size of a grain, right, of a mustard seed. Can you have that for yourself? It's a question. Can you have that faith for yourself the size of a grain of a mustard seed? I would like an audible response. Yes. And you can whisper it, and I know when you're reassuring yourself, your solar plexus, you want to hear it. You want to say it when you're doing your affirmations and your practices at home. Reassure yourself. Don't just say, in the silence. Like I'm just saying on your own time in the car, right? As you're singing loud in the shower, sing these affirmations of praise to yourself. Because we need to remind ourselves that we can do it, right? We need to remind ourselves that we can get through it and be authentic in the middle of the trauma that life sometimes offers to us, right? And so now I'd like to go to the second half, and we'll go quickly to the wings section. Is everybody okay with that? And do you want to do that reading part, or you want me to? It's this one. I think you should do it. That's a good one.
Know what it is to be a child? It is to have a spirit yet streaming from the waters of baptism. It is to believe in love, to believe in loveliness, to believe in belief. It is to be so little that the elves can reach to whisper in your ear. It is to turn pumpkins into coaches and mice into horses, lowness into loftiness, and nothing into everything. For each child has a fairy godmother in their own soul. It is to see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower. It is to hold infinity in the palm of your hand.
Isn't that just beautiful? So the idea of wings, let's just know that in what's happening today, as the holidays are approaching and this whole theme and idea of, checking out, how do you feel? Do you feel at home at your home? Do you need to create boundaries to feel more at home at your home? It's the exploration of that. The idea of these wings that you spoke about earlier in the prayer, you probably don't remember, you spoke about them. They're always within you, right? And when the caterpillar goes through the chrysalis, it's a mess. I haven't been in one, right, except for through the spiritual journey, which is the same thing. We unpeel the layers of the onion to get to the core, to the I am that I am. And so what I want to say is during this idea of the holidays, I saw a post recently, I've seen it more than once, but it's the idea of instead of getting something for other people, maybe to check in with them to see if they what might they have as needs. Because we sometimes get them something we think they're going to want, but maybe they just need some help to get their electricity turned back on. I mean, I don't know. If they're willing to tell you that, I don't know. I know when I hear about the children and there's some, what can we do in our family units to have the children, the next generation, feel more secure or safe? There's literal needs in everyone's family. If we were willing to be bold enough and brave enough and authentic enough to find out a real answer. And so I'm just going to throw that out there. And then I'm going to ask, what do you have to add about wings? And if you don't have anything, that's okay. But if you have something.
I feel that the notches on the wings, because that's how I see it, the little things, that they grow and they spread with each act of random kindness. And that sometimes the weight of the wings is the reminder that we have to check back in with spirit. And are we, in fact, giving from the infinite reservoir?
Also, if you try to break a cocoon before it's ready,
That's
it's not
right.
going to go very well.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. And I was a massage therapist for umpteen years, 35. And it was amazing to me how much blockage people carry across what would be the wings, the space of receiving love. We know about the heart chakra in the front, right, and keeping that open and available to give, but are we graciously receiving? Because if we're not, and I'm having to practice this a lot right now, if we're not, we're denying somebody the joy that it is to give. So each time that somebody's calling me and saying, what can I do? I'm trying not to be dismissive of that, and I'm trying to hear that it's somebody outreaching who wants to help. And I need to be available to let them in whatever small way. And like what Mark was saying, maybe it's my mother.
Maybe they just listen to you.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they don't say a word and they're just witnessing.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe they're bringing you a meal. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're running an errand.
It's all kinds of crazy things.
Maybe they're
already.
walking the dog.
The dog, yeah. Yeah, but people are just showing up in the most loving, unconditional ways. And we need to remember that the other side of giving is to graciously receive. So.
Beautiful. And so I'm going to close today with a quote. There's some Brene Brown that was pretty darn good. And it says let's see. Oh, this is from Holmes. Let's start with that. Our spiritual convictions have their genesis in our childhood upbringing. As Holmes says, a child needs confidence in his parents, or her parents, or their parents. A home that offers unconditional love, belonging, and a sense of safety can empower children to grow into adults who trust life. If you grew up in such a home, give thanks. Not everyone has the blessing of being raised in a home where basic needs are met. And then there's a beautiful Brene Brown quote that says, those who live wholeheartedly with the deepest sense of belonging and compassion indicated that participants who put true belonging into practice talked openly about their boundaries. The clearer and more respected the boundaries, the higher the level of empathy and compassion for others. When there were fewer, clearer boundaries, less openness, it's hard to stay kind-hearted when you feel people may be taking advantage of you or even threatening you. And in the book, Braving the Wilderness, The Quest for True Belonging and the Courage to Stand Alone, Brene Brown said, "True belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. And this ideal home is the place where we can be our authentic and perfect selves and know we are seen, we are loved and accepted just the way we are. It is a place that we know where we also feel known." This center is that for me.
Whoops. And for me.
And so it is.
And so it is. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kate. Take the mic.
I can't say it exactly, Mark, but what you, that in that last quote, the idea that
Stand by.
we can only belong to the extent that we accept ourselves.
Yes. It says, because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance.
Wow. I mean, that's key right there. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our own self-acceptance. Wow. Songs I chose today were about people away from home, searching for home. And maybe about people who need a little self-acceptance. Which, in a way, is exactly what you were talking about. I'm sitting in a railway station, ticket to my destination. On a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand. Every step is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where the music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Every day is an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. And each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories. Every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, my thoughts escaping. Home, where the music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Tonight I'll sing my songs again, play the game, and pretend. But all my words come back to me in shades of mediocrity, like emptiness and harmony. I need someone to comfort me. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where the music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Yankee. All right, we have the ushers are coming forth, and while they are, we have an affirmation for today. It's based on a quote from Creative Mind by Holmes on page 69. So I'm going to say a line, and if you agree, then you say it. Only say affirmations if you believe them. Today I wake up. My word is all powerful. My consciousness is one of omnipotence. My thought is infinite. My destiny is eternal. My home is everlasting heaven. I realize this truth now. And so it is. And so I invite you to take out your tithes and your gives and your offerings. And for those who are watching remotely, you can click on the Donate Now button. Please do so. Let us know your name and where from you're watching. We accept Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, and all kinds of other things, right? Cash, checks. And remember what Reverend Caitlin said. We want to be good givers and even better receivers, right? And so ushers, go forth and multiply this. If the congregation agrees with each line, they'll repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And the congregation said, and so it is. All right, and we're going to do our closing prayer. Well, first let's bless the offering, I guess, the rest of the way.
Thank you for giving.
There we go.
Thank you for receiving. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for believing. And thank you for being who you are. The universe is flowing with love that's ever growing. And you are a vessel of that love. So thank you for caring, and bless you for your sharing. And thank you for being who you are.
Beautiful. And so I invite us to just outstretch our hands, knowing that this offering is sufficient to continue the great work of CSL Redlands, which is a successful idea in the mind of spirit. Together we say, and so it is. And so ushers, stand by for the closing treatment. I'm going to invite any visiting ministers who want to reveal themselves to come forth. Reverend Caitlin, Joe, if you'd come forth. Audrey, if you'd come forth. We're going to do a closing prayer, only if you want to. And we're going to do our closing prayer treatment. I'll start it and I'll end it. And if you don't want to come all the way up, you can just stay close by, and we'll pass the mic. Do you want to start it?
Read this. Okay, so I feel pulled to read this instead. It's entitled, Your Children Are Not Your Children, and it's by Khalil Gibran. Excuse me. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but are not from you. And though they are with you, they do not belong to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. I love that. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite and bends you with might, that the arrows may go swiftly and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as the archer loves the arrow, so the archer also loves the bow that is stable.
And so as we rest in this idea that spirit is everywhere present, let's breathe that in. Breathe in the divine breath. We release again with our exhale a divine breath. And as we return to our normal breathing, we're reminded that this power and this presence, this love, this grace that created everything perfect, whole, and complete, created you perfect, whole, and complete. You are a masterpiece in the mind of the divine. You are perfectly recognized, known. Every strand of hair on your head is numbered and known. Spirit always says, yes, you are my beloved in who I am well pleased. And so I know that everything works together for your highest and best good now and always, despite any appearance. I know that we can use our wings. I call forth the wings to rise even higher than anything that's happening in the human, to the level of the divine, to the level of the magnificence, the beauty, the joy. This is the absolute, in the isness and allness of God, where there's no issue, there's no problem. It's Oz. And all you had to do was click your heels 3 times together, let the wings take you higher, and know that you know that you know. So I call forth divine healing, right health, and wholeness for Joan, for Reverend Caitlin's mom is Joan. Where she is, God is, and so there's divinity and grace happening there. This same divinity, health, and wholeness that's happening there is happening where Hilda is, Hilda Torres, where Hilda Torres Corbino is, God is. Where everybody who enters their room see the divinity that is there for them to serve. So I bless those who are serving, for all these people to become even more of their divine health and perfect wholeness right here, right now. The same truth is so for our spiritual director, Sonja, where she is, God is. There's nothing missing, lacking, needing, nor wanting. And so I call forth for divine healing, health, harmony, and wholeness. The same truth is so for Ron and Carrie as they navigate illness into wellness. For I know that each of us only has wellness that surrounds us as our birthright. And I call it forth. And just like whatever needs to shed, let it shed so the wings may fly and soar. I'm calling forth for peace in Ukraine. I'm calling forth for peace in Iran. I'm calling forth for peace in any areas of Africa or anywhere where there's a world struggle or strife. Right? I'm blessing the United States of America. I'm knowing that words have power, that thoughts are thing, and the truth is always going to be true. So I'm so grateful and thankful to know this and so much more. And I lovingly pass my word to Joe.
I know that I reside within the shelter, within the home of this divine spirit, this intelligence, this thing that I call God. You may choose to call it whatever it calls on you to call it. I know as a child of God, as an individuation of this divine spirit, that it is forever expanding and growing and consoling and comforting. I know this truth for you as individuations, as children of the Most High. The Most High shelters, protects you, and it's the house of God. This power that is undeniable, it is truth, and it is the knowingness of this truth, this sheltering, loving, benevolent spirit, intelligence that guides, directs, consoles. In our best of times and our worst of times, it is always present. It is always there, providing us the answers to all things. It soothes us in our despair, in our grief. And it is there in our best of times, sharing in our greatest times, our moments of joy. It is home. I embrace this family, this community. I pass my word back to Mark.
I'm going to pass my word to one of our practitioners of over 40 years, Audrey, to close us out.
I am in a place of gratefulness. I am very, very thankful for the spiritual family that I am part of. I am blessed, and I know that each one of you are blessed. As we walk the planet, we are lights, we are beacons of love and blessing. And in that knowingness, we send forth the awareness that is there, but only to embody it, to accept it, to receive it. We are blessed, and so it is.
If you'd like to rise for the closing song, the doors are opening. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being here in person and those who are watching remotely. Also, food and snacks and the meeting as well. Oh, and if you'd like individual prayer, we're available.
I used to think I'd always be alone and separate, misunderstood. Spent my days in quiet desperation, but on the outside things looked good. Then I discovered the error of my thinking, the lie at the base of all my fears. So simple, it turned my world around. Oh, why did it take so many years? Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open, wide open. There is no separation, no matter what it looks like. There is no separation, no matter what they say. No separation except what I imagine. And I imagine separation's gone away. Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. Sing it like you mean it. I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open, wide open, wide open, wide open.